Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to share a new best grouping with my Beretta CX4 rifle. This is a 9mm rifle and it has the Holosun 403C red dot on it. That's the solar powered one. And what I do is I put a little painter's tape on the solar panel to dim the red dot when I'm shooting at distance. So at 150 yards, I've got 5 inches, and that's from the furthest points. Basically, I've got 4 shots here, okay, in a circular pattern, and then I got one right down here that just basically touched the paper. I'm really lucky that I touched the paper, because if I had gone completely off the paper, there was too many other holes on the board. I would not have known that that was the shot, and this ended up being my best grouping. So I am within 5 inches. It's actually 4 3/4 inches, but I'll just call it 5 inches. So that's at 150 yards with the red dot. Now on this rifle, I did my previous best group on this was at 100 yards, where I hit I think it was 4 inches. I was using the Wolf Performance ammo, and I wanted to push it out a little bit more, see what it would do. It actually, for a best grouping, mind you, the 4 inches at 100 yards was my best grouping at that distance. So I'm kind of comparing bests to bests. Opening up only 1 extra inch, with an additional 50 yards, I think it's excellent. The way I have this rifle zeroed in, and again, I did a previous video on how I zeroed in. I'm using an 1875 yard zero. So I have it. There's 2 zeros because the red dot is sitting about 2.5 inches above the bore of the muzzle. So my first zero is at 18 yards. Okay, so it's fairly close. Okay, and mind you, that's because it's a slower bullet. And then basically, it starts rising. It reaches its apex somewhere around maybe I'm not exactly sure where. I think it was at around somewhere close to 50 yards. It kind of reaches its apex, and then it starts coming back down, so that at 75 yards I get my second zero. Okay, so and at 100 yards, what happens is if I put the red dot in the center of the paper, I'm basically hitting down here. So that's the idea with that 1875 zero. I want to be able to put the red dot in the center of the target and be able to get on the paper all the way out from, all the way from zero distance all the way out to 100 yards. Now at the 150 yards, what I did is I had a holdover. What I did is I put the red dot up here. I kind of, it's a 2 MOA red dot, so I split it along this line over here. Okay, and basically I had about a 10-inch drop. So which is not bad, because even if you kind of go for this, basically if you're aiming here, with that 1875 yards zero, if you're aiming here, you'll hit about 10 inches lower here. So that's why I think that 1875 yard zero is a great zero for this particular rifle, shooting the 9mm round. Okay, the ammunition that I was using was this Federal aluminum case ammo. I used to be able to get this stuff pretty easy. Now can't get it as easy anymore, but I do have a supply of this stuff. I have found that I have gotten among my best groups with this ammunition, and that's including brass as well. Now this ammunition is a little bit underpowered, but by that I mean when I do when I put it, when I run it through a chronograph. It gets a muzzle energy, I think, of about 315 foot-pounds. That's out of a 9mm handgun, like a Glock 17, compared to other ammunition that usually comes in at around 340, 350 foot-pounds. So it is a little underpowered, but it does give me tighter groups. I've seen that consistently with a number of different guns. So that's one of the reasons why I pulled it out today, because I'm trying to hit a tight group at distance, and it did. It gave me that 5 inches at the 150 yards. So it's good ammo. Mind you though, because it is going a little bit slower, the bullet's probably going to drop a little bit more. So If I was shooting this, let's say, with something a little bit hotter, it probably would have dropped less. It might have been more closer to the center, rather than giving me this 10-inch drop. All in all, that's lots of fun to try and use a 9mm at distance, like 150 yards. One of the hardest parts about shooting a 9mm at this distance, using a red dot specifically, is the holdover. Okay, because normally with the red dot, we just we center it on. Normally I will center it on my target. So when I put the red dot in the center over here, basically I'm looking for the red dot against the white paper. I'm looking for equal distance on all sides of the red dot, so I can see that it's centered. So it's easy to keep it centered and know that you're centered, and have confidence in that you centered it. When you start using a holdover, where you're now holding it up here and you're splitting it along the line, it becomes a little bit harder to tell if you're consistently centering it. I did, after I shot this group, what I tried doing is I wanted to kind of come to the center, so I tried using a holdover where a red dot was completely on top of the paper. So I was hoping to, what I ended up doing was coming in here. Some of the hits were off paper, so I really can't use any reliable data on that. Because some of the hits were off paper. It becomes fun. Granted, I could just throw a magnification scope on this and and see what the rifle can do. But I find that using the red dots, for me, is a little bit more fun, especially if you're using a rifle that you would primarily be shooting at close distance. With a rifle like this, you're looking for that quick target acquisition. So I don't want a magnification scope on this, because most of the time I'd be shooting relatively close with this rifle. But I do want to, have the ability to shoot at distance, if I want to shoot at distance, and I want to know, what I can do and what I can expect from the rifle. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not a member of my channel, subscribe. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, hit that notification button, so that you get notifications of the new videos I put out. At some point, I'm probably going to take this rifle out to 200 yards and see if I can get on the paper at that distance. So when I do that, you guys will probably want to see that video. Talk to you guys next time.